So we can start now.
Yeah. On behalf of DCO India Drug Control Forum and DCO India Drug Control Women Forum, I convey my Raksha Bandhan greetings to all my sisters across India, and good morning to all. As a routine process, again, it is my minimum responsibility to give introduction about this group, what is DCO India. DCO India Drug Control Forum was initially constituted by few like-minded professionals like Sri Lalit Goyal ji from Haryana, Sri Rakesh Dahiya ji from Haryana, and myself G. Koteshwar Rao from Hyderabad, Telangana. On 30th April 2019, initially aimed to convey condolences to late Srimati Neha Shourie, Zonal Licensing Authority, Mohali, Punjab, who was shot dead by some culprits. Later, after 3 months, we know that one of our senior colleague, Srimati Pallavi Koteshwar Rao, lost her life in a road accident while she was on duty. So on this same day, a WhatsApp group was created under the administration of Lalit Goyalji, Rakesh Dahiya, and myself, G. Koteshwar Rao. As of date, the group admin has covered each and every state in India while adding their members, including union territories. Top priority was given to retired or senior officers who are well experienced and who are able to guide the working officers and sharing their experiences. The group strength is reached nearly 1200, including a separate women group consisting of almost 306 members as on today. The Women Forum is headed by its national coordinator, Dr. Mahalakshmi, Drug Inspector from Kerala. We have identified individual state coordinators for Women Forum. I would like to read now. Ms. Nagamani from Andhra Pradesh, Ms. Sweta from Bihar, Ms. Leena from Goa, Ms. Garima Sharma from Himachal Pradesh, Ms. Nandini from Karnataka, Ms. Nasrina Bano from Ladakh, Ms. Bhagyasri from Maharashtra, Ms. Saima from Mizoram, Ms. Anita Sharma from Puducherry, Ms. Chandra Mary David from Tamil Nadu, Ms. Anita from Uttarakhand, Ms. Siri Gaiti from Arunachal Pradesh, Ms. Sonam Jain from Chhattisgarh, Ms. Deepika Chauhan from Gujarat, Ms. Poonam from Jharkhand, Ms. Masrat Rashid from Kashmir, Ms. Subita from Lakshadweep, Ms. Bimal Devi from Manipur, Ms. Aliya from Nagaland, Ms. Manpreet from Punjab, Ms. Indira Priyadarshini from Telangana, Ms. Rekha from Uttar Pradesh, Ms. Jahnavi Kalita from Assam, Ms. Yamini Kohli from Delhi, Ms. Vijaya Raje from Haryana, Ms. Vandana from Jammu, Ms. Dr. Mahalakshmi from Kerala, Ms. Mahima from Madhya Pradesh, Ms. Arulia from Meghalaya, Ms. Priyanka from Odisha, Ms. Mamata from Rajasthan, Ms. Kanchan Sinha from Tripura, and Ms. Momita Pradhan from West Bengal. Out of this DCO group, the group is consisting, including senior most persons from the field, including Dr. P.V. Appaji Rao, Dr. Selvaraj, Dr. Venkat Reddy, Dr. Vijay Sumani, Dr. Narendra Kumar Ahuja, Dr. Satish Kumar, Sri Pavan Jaggi, Sri Atul Naza, and many retired state drug controllers and officers from Central Drug Standards Control Organization also. The group has created a logo of safeguarders of drugs in India with a sharing hands. The main object of the group is to get all the working and retired officers on the same platform and to share information, subject updates, and to conduct seminars and other social activities. So far, the group has conducted many programs, quiz programs in cooperation with Pallavi Memorial Trust and awarded cash rewards to the winners. And even as you know that during last 6 months, we have lost two well experienced intelligence officers in a sudden death, and where DCO India has contributed a lot for, and personally we have visited their families and conveyed our condolences to them. As everyone is aware of, the team admin conveys their thanks to all the group members for maintaining decorum of the platform, maintaining team discipline, and avoiding postings of unrelated subjects. Team admin conveys special thanks to Sri Rakesh Dahiya for his regular postings under heading of Health Master, which are very useful to the members. Team admins are all working at their level best to update further the quality of the forum without expectations and without collecting a single penny from others so far. We need your blessings and cooperations for healthy running of this platform. Now, I request today we are conducting first webinar on behalf of DCO India Drugs Control Forum Women Wing in association with Pallavi Banoth Memorial Trust Hyderabad. The national level webinar on the topic frequent problems encountered by women field officers, how to counter. For this August gathering, I welcome Srimati Jyoti J. Sardeshai, Madam, Director FDA Goa, to act as a chief guest of the day. Jyoti Madam. Nishit, highlight the photo. Nishit,
good morning, everyone.
Yes. And we welcome Srimati Preeti Jain, IPS, Director Intelligence and Training Academy, Jaipur, Rajasthan, as guest of honor of the day. Welcome, Madam.
Good morning. Good morning, and thank you for the welcome.
And we welcome today's keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Y. Padmaja Rani, Madam, Principal, University College of Law, Kakatiya University, Warangal, Telangana. Welcome to the August gathering, Madam. Nishit. Dr. Padmaja Rani.
Madam, you are mute.
Madam, unmute. Dr. Padmaja Rani.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity.
Now I request today's chief guest, Srimati Jyoti J. Sardeshai, Madam, to deliver her chief guest address. Before that, I request Ms. Siri Gaiti to give the introduction of Jyoti Madam. Over to Siri Gaiti from Arunachal Pradesh.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to you all, respected dignitaries and my drug control officer friends. It is indeed my great privilege and honor to have this opportunity to introduce our today's chief guest, Mrs. Jyoti Sardesai, Director of FDA Goa. Mrs. Jyoti Sardesai is Master of Pharmaceutical Sciences by qualification, and she joined Goa FDA as Drug Inspector in March 1992 through Goa Public Service Commission selection process. Incidentally, she was the first woman to join this post in Goa and among very few women in the Indian regulatory setup then. In her more than 30 years tenure in the FDA, she was promoted to the post of Assistant Drugs Controller in 2005. to Deputy Director in 2010, and finally she became the Director FDA in 2017. Mrs. Sardesai has been the first woman to occupy all the above posts in Goa FDA, and she has been a trendsetter and example to others, as so much so that today 75% drugs regulatory positions in Goa are occupied by women officers. In addition to her role in drugs regulation, Mrs. Sardesai became part of the food regulatory team in 2008, initially as local health authority and subsequently as designated officer. Over the years, she has also shouldered additional responsibilities within the department, such as public grievances officer, public information officer, chairperson of internal complaints committee regarding sexual harassment of women at workplace, and also as member of various committees such as Goa Board of Technical Education, Goa State AIDS Control Society, Governing Body Committee of Goa College of Pharmacy, Central Council of PCI, etc., etc. During her tenure as Director FDA and Commissioner of Food Safety, Goa State has been ranked first for 4 consecutive years in the category of small states in the Food Safety Index, which was evaluated by FSSAI. Mrs. Sardesai has played a pivotal role in bringing forward major reforms in the health and food safety sectors and pioneered many path-breaking schemes, especially the introduction of ease of doing business, because of which today Goa FDA is rated as one of the best in the country. She has always believed in her department as being a facilitator rather than just a regulator. And this attitude and approach has been instrumental in her success. Last year, Mrs. Sardesai was felicitated for her meritorious service in pharma sector by IPA, and recently she has been felicitated by Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the meritorious service and food safety. On that note, with much pride and respect, I welcome our chief guest, Mrs. Jyoti Sardesai. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Siri, for that lovely introduction. Good morning, everybody. Greetings on Har Ghar Tiranga celebration and advance greetings on that Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Happy Independence Day to all. Let me begin with congratulating DCO India Drugs Control Forum, Women's Wing, for organizing this national level webinar in association with Pallavi Banoth Memorial Trust. I also congratulate DCO Forum for having been able to form this women wing with 300 plus members and also 5 groups of DCO. Congratulations to the trio who have been working and admire their perseverance and hard work in trying to bring all the drug control officers on one platform. I thank the organizers for inviting me to be over here as the chief guest for this webinar on the topic, which is very relevant not only to the drug control officers, but also all the officials who are performing field duty. This is a subject very close to all the women performing field duty. I remember 30 years back when I joined FDA Goa as drugs inspector, I was the first lady officer to join FDA. There were a lot of speculations as well as admirations. Pharma fraternity, those who knew me in my personal capacity, knew for sure that I will excel in my career. Some of them, as always, were skeptical, and that is understood. Coming to the topic of today's webinar, the keynote speaker will delve in detail. However, I will express in short my personal perspective about the problems encountered, which can be broadly categorized as 1, physical, 2, physiological, and 3, societal. First, physical. Physical point of view, general perception is women can't withstand field work. as compared to their male counterpart, though this has been proved wrong by most of us. Safety of women, especially in a remote place, is a concern. Whenever our training institute of Goa government imparts training on women related legislation, I always encourage staff to attend to keep themselves with this vital information. Second, physiological. Yes, nature has bestowed with us the responsibility to propagate. Those painful 5 days, then that period when we are carrying the first trimester, the last trimester, traveling to perform the field duty. And if it happens to be a day of seizure or court custody, etc., then we have had it. Most of the instances, no proper clean and hygienic public utilities. They are available for us to ease out. Coming to the third one, societal. Society always looks at our gender as weak. Even though our prime minister, our president, our defense minister have been the ladies. The fighter pilots, the astronauts have been ladies. We don't have to prove that we are strong. We have to only exhibit our true nature. Nature has been kind to us to provide the virtue of strength, courage, love, and affection. Ladies have the natural instinct of time management and leadership and vigilance, and hence we make good regulators. Let me cite a few of my personal experiences. My first challenge came when I had to go to Mumbai for a 1 month training in as well as in Maharashtra. That time my son was hardly 11 months old. His first birthday came in between. Then weekend, I flew down to my place, celebrated the birthday, and the next day, early morning, I went back and joined the training. Similarly, the instances have been when I had to go for trainings to maybe Naipur, maybe Ghaziabad, Delhi, Ahmedabad, for durations from 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks. So every time the same situation, I had to leave my small son with my mother-in-law and attend these trainings. But I never avoided these trainings or the conferences or the meetings, always took this as an opportunity to improve myself, to bring the best to my department. Even for that matter, like investigations of NSQ, visiting the other states, everything was done by me individually and in the successful manner. Even going for surprise inspections late evening in my state. I'll give you one example. One day there was no one at home except me and my small son. And suddenly it is Friday evening when I just reached home after finishing, because after that from Monday I was supposed to be on 3 weeks leave as my domestic helper was on leave. And then I just reached home late, finishing all the work, and hardly had my coffee. And then I get call from my HOD saying that there is some complaint is received that someone is selling ketamine through the vehicle, and then you have to go now. Then again, immediately what to do? I had to leave my son with my neighbors. Neighbors were quite helpful. And then I went, and then that went up to 4 o'clock in the morning again. Then we had to seal the shop, come back, and then the next day I had to continue. And then till the next day, till 12 o'clock in the night, we were taking the custody permission and all that. So such situations do come when we work as a regulator. Being the first woman in drug and food regulator in Goa had also presented its own issues within our office when all my male colleagues had to adjust with me. Fortunately, our HOD at that time was cooperative and encouraging. I'll just give you one example of this. When I was in my advanced stage of pregnancy, my HOD suggested that like the duties of sampling and inspections, I can be given in the nearby area so that reduces my travel time and then my stress on my this. So, but one of the male colleagues said, she when she accepted this job, she knew what would be her responsibilities, what type of duty she would have to perform. Being a lady, she knew that one day she would be caring. So, but then as I said, my HOD was very cooperative. But at that point only, I made up my mind that in future, whenever, if any situation I have to encounter, I will see that my lady officers, I give them the best of cooperation and they are taken care of. See, the problems are there. The problems cannot be stereotyped. As we go in the field, the problems may vary. We have to be alert, have presence of mind, and use our knowledge and information to counter the problems. Another example I'll give is of when I was doing a seizure. One of the pancha, he said he wants to ease out, and then he didn't return at all, and he put his mobile switched off. So now how to contact him? Not possible. Then go in search of another witness and then redo the entire panchanama. So such situations also come, for which we have to be prepared and try our best and see that we save our case. Like this, many examples are there which will this I have cited only two. This I don't want to talk for a long time because we have to listen to the main speaker who will give us different perspectives of these problems encountered by us, how to counter and all that. But the thing is that we have worked as a regulator at the time when there was like staying away for 1 month with a 11-month-old child at home. And when there was, forget the mobile phones, there was no luxury of even having a landline. So the hostel where we were there in 95, there it had only one call, and we all would, like I remember my colleagues that time from Jammu Kashmir, Manipur, we were all staying together, and then one landline, and we would be waiting to call our home. This was the situation even that time, but we have performed well, done well. So, but as the situation changes, the time changes, the problems or the difficulties also are different. Difficulties are there, different types of the problems are different, situations are different. So with these few words, I end my speech. I thank the organizers once again for giving me this opportunity to interact with all the young regulators, and I wish this seminar grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. I think the participants, most of them are younger generation. Friends, madam has worked 30 years back where there is a nil communication system, nil transportation system, nil facilities. Even there is no reservations of trains or buses or anything, no flights. She reached today at this stage. We are seeing every day she is honoring by some XYZ. Every day we are seeing in our postings because only thing she has reached this stage by constructing brick by brick. Not she become here as a overnight stage. I hope madam is a role model for you and for your routine problems, for small problems. Don't think much on that. Take in a broad way, take assistance from the seniors, and in the earlier, if we want to have a constitution particulars, we have to go to Jammu and Kashmir or we have to go to Delhi, where several drug inspectors were got threatened by the culprits and they came back. Even there is a incident in Andhra Pradesh where in Tamil Nadu, particular area, our officers went in a car, they locked the car and they pour kerosene and they are just supposed to put fire on that. Such incidents are there. But now, yes, first of all, we have got a good communication system, and DCO India Dust Control Forum, as you are well aware that even midnight 1 o'clock also, if you need any information regarding Jammu Kashmir officer, ask the Kanyakumari officer details. In the midnight also, Koteshwara is there to provide information, and I am very happy that I am doing some service in such a way. Hope this type of services will be continued with only your cooperation. Now, may I request today's guest of honor, Madam Srimati Preeti Jain, IPS, Director, Intelligence Training Academy, Jaipur, Rajasthan, to deliver her speech. Before that, I request Ms. Sweta Madam from Bihar to give introduction of Madam Preeti Jain, IPS. Over to Sweta Madam.
Hello, am I audible? Hello,
Yes. You speak.
hello, am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's a great pleasure and opportunity for me to introduce today's guest of honor, Mr. Spriti Jain. It is a matter of great respect and pride for us to whom young, dynamic, energetic, and prompt or decision maker officer inspired. She is very tactful in discharging her duties, even in a very critical situation. यदि एक शब्दों में कहूं तो मैम का परिचय, मैं नारी हूं, मैं शक्ति हूं, ईश्वर की सुंदर अभिव्यक्ति हूं, कितनी भी कठिन परिस्थितियां हों, मैं कभी नहीं डरती हूं, संस्कारों के बीज पल्लवित कर मुट्ठी में बांधे रहती हूं, अपने नित्य सम्मान की हमेशा रक्षा करती हूं, नारी मानव के साथ साथ मानवता की भी जन्मदात्री हूं. Mr. Spriti Jain, and I, officer of Indian Police Service 2009 batch of Rajasthan cadre, is presently posted as Director Intelligence Training Academy, Jaipur. She has started her career from Assistant Superintendent of Police, Jodhpur, in October 2011. She has held so many very important posts in the short span of her career. She has served as Superintendent of Police, Anti-Corruption Bureau, Jaipur, SP Tong, SP Anti-Human Trafficking, SP CID, SP Jaipur Development Authority, DCP Jaipur Metro, SP Hanumangarh, SP Dausa, SP Chittorgarh. She was the first women superintendent of police in Chittorgarh district. She has qualified NET and MPhil in economics. Her native place is Sri Ganganagar. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Good morning, all. Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Good morning, one and all. First of all, thank you so much for introducing me in such a nice manner. Even I could not think of it. So thank you so much for that. Today's topic is largely based on the problems faced by the women officers. And as the previous speaker rightly said that, yes, the problems exist. Problems do exist, but at the same time, solutions are also there. There are so many of options available, using which today's women are more and more getting onto their works and doing wonderfully in their concerned areas of work. I would like to start my thought process with the thing that a book is written by Friedman which says world is flat. The world is flat. He explains in the sense that there were some countries who were very advanced, some were like very backward or developing nations or underdeveloped nations. But over the time period, as the economies have opened up, as the countries have mode of transportation, mode of communication has improved, the opportunities are available across the globe. So world is getting flat day by day. Opportunities are available in every nook and corner of this globe. So world is getting flat. The similar is the case with the women officers also. Yes, their problems existed, but at the same time, requirement of women workforce in the workplaces Then at the same time, the zeal and the passion in women to work outside their house or premises, it motivated them to work outside more and more, and that resulted in that more and more women are coming to different type of areas, different work areas. Like as the previous speaker told, there are the President of India, Prime Minister of India, then higher judiciary, there are women officers, then like most of you belong to the drug control offices or drug inspectors. I belong to the police department, which is considered to be one of the most difficult department for the women to for women to work in. But the world is getting flat. The problems existed, but over the years, when more and more number of women have come into the work areas, it has improved the working conditions for women. It has improved the mindset of the people. It has improved the systems that were in place, and that were in place just thinking of that, yes, a male workforce would be there to work in that system. But now, as the more and more women are coming, the policies are changing. There is planning to bring more and more women into the workforce, looking into the efficiency, looking into the contribution of women in the work. More and more changes in the policies and perceptions and system is there, which is bringing the world as flat for the woman. So over the time period, I do believe that when like the previous speaker started her career in 30 years back, I started my career around 14 years back. I think that when we entered in the work in the police department, the situations were different. Nowadays, situations have changed a lot. When we joined, there were hardly any lady superintendent of police in any district, because it was considered that law and order, handling the law and order, handling various typical crimes, heinous offenses, people did not have a faith that yes, lady officers would be able to deal with it. They would be able to handle the pressure of the field. But now it is not like that. I was introduced that I was the first lady officer in Chittorgarh district in Rajasthan. Chittorgarh is considered as one of the very difficult tasks, and I was the 47th SP of that district, but the first lady officer. But I think at the level of government, at the level of higher echelons, mindset has changed that yes, lady officers can deal with every kind of situation, so they can be given the tougher or task also. Now, I would like to point out the specific problems which we as a woman face at various levels in our work areas. One of the things that I feel like women always face double work pressure. Double work pressure means the pressure of work at offices, at their working place, at the same time pressure of work at the homes. Still, our society has to go a mile or more than that to assume or to assimilate the thought that yes, male and female both have to share the responsibility of the household chores. Generally, women are working at home, and after completing the work at home or managing in the left out time, they come to the office from morning till late evening. They work at the office, and then when they go back to the home, they have to complete their household works without bothering the male person of the family. But yes, over the time period, when more and more women are coming, the mindset of the society is changing, and the double work pressure which is at present on many of the women, it is over the time period. I hope that it will improve in this situation. They will be improved in this situation. So double work pressure also causes that the problem of balancing the life cycle. Sometimes women face a guilt conscious that they are not being able to take care of their child as proper as household lady maintains them, household lady take care of them. Sometimes people comment that yes, because she's working, she's not able to take care of the child as properly as others can do, or had she been at home, she would have done it in a better way. So balancing the life, taking care of the children, taking care of the house, it requires that there should be a understanding of the pressure on work pressure on women, work pressure both at the workplace as well as at home, and the male counterparts do come forward to assist their female counterparts so that they can handle it better, they can balance their life in a better way. The second problem, which is typical to our workplaces, is there has always been a doubt on the capability of the woman in one way or the other, which creates double pressure on the woman to work more and more to prove themselves that yes, we can do better. And we sometimes we feel like we have to work double so that we can prove ourselves, and in a way we can work better than our male counterparts. So that doubt on the capabilities, and due to that, the more and more pressure to perform better on women is always there and higher than the male counterparts. And this can be dealt only when there is a change in the mindset of our people. Similarly, sometimes related to this, the above 2 points, the time management is also a big issue sometimes, because there is a pressure of work on both at home and at offices. The time management is a very crucial factor which a woman officer working in any kind of department needs to manage properly. Similarly, there is, like, as we all know, we all are working women, we can understand better that when we deal with people, and especially like in the police department, I have dealt with people have more and more faith, people have more and more belief in women, that yes, if a lady officer is there, she can better understand our problems. Common man think that she can better judge our problems, she can be more empathetic to she can be more in sympathy with the problems of people. So they expect a better solution, better work from lady officers than male officers. This is the general societal framework. So as the trust factor of belief or faith is more there in women, it also requires that people expect that woman would be more work ethical, she would be more sincere. It also put a kind of more work is also required. At the same time, we have to be very sensitive, very much understanding, very much kind-hearted, so that we can better provide a solution for the problems of common man. I remember the incidences where whenever there is a law and order problem, or whenever there is a typical crime, heinous crime, especially the crimes related to women, children, sometimes rape cases with 3-4-year-old child. So in that cases, people expect that yes, if a lady officer has come, she can better deal with it, she can do better, she can perform better, she can bring justice to the victim. In that case, yes, there are that put an added pressure on the woman. That but I also believe that with our capabilities, our sex sense, our basic nature, we can also perform better, because we understand or we feel by heart that yes, the issues that are, or the expectations of people we need to match with, we try to do better and better from our perspective. At the same time, the mindset of people sometimes mindset of people includes the general society as well as our colleagues, who feel that sometimes that yes, because of the family issues, because of the children, or because of the timing issues, they feel that women, they are not sure that women would be able to perform better. But as we all know, over the years and as over the time period, situations have changed. Women officers have become more and more successful in their arena, and that is contributing towards the changing the mindset of the people. It is a gradual process, but the process has actually started. People now believe that yes, women can perform better, in even if all the bottlenecks, all the hinders, all the obstacles that are available in the path of duty for the woman, they can perform better with their capabilities. As madam said that yes, there are some infrastructure bottlenecks which are being faced by the women officers, especially the like toilet facilities, mode of transport, and mode of transport also, and especially in the remote areas. Like as I have worked in the police department, we have to reach to smallest of the places, and sometimes adequate facilities, adequate mode of transports are not available. In that case, single officer, single lady policeman or lady constable going to the remote areas, it creates problem at times. And similarly, work timings also, some police is a 24-hour job. We have to be on alert more 24 hours. There can be an emergency at any time, and especially in the regular duties also, there are night patrolling. There are certain works which require the timings are like late night 12 to morning 8 o'clock, late night 10 to morning 6 o'clock. In these night shifts, yes, there are sometimes problem exists because the lady has to go home, take care of the children. So these kind of bottlenecks, these type of problems do exist on the for women, but at the same time solutions are also there. In this case, I think that solution is not just women centric. It has to be the organization centric solution, because if the better infrastructure is to be provided, toilet facilities are to be provided, work timings are to be managed. Sometimes like male counterparts take the responsibility that yes, night shift will be handled by us, and in the morning shift, evening shift, it can be better handled by women officers. So so the organization makes a policy in a way that officers, women workforce can perform better. They can do justice to their homely responsibilities. At the same time, they can justice to their work also. So organization has to come forward. Officers in the senior echelons, they have to come forward to find out a solution for women workforce, so that they can freely come and join the workplace, and they can perform better, and with the best of their capabilities, they can deliver the goods. At the same time, the last thing that I just, as madam earlier said, that physical, physiological, societal kind of problems, as the three classifications she made, I feel like the most important problem faced by women is, as I earlier said, mindset of the people that yes, women can or cannot do. And the similar mindset at the for the women workforce also, we should to make the situation better for the younger generations to come, younger lady or women to come in the workforce. We need to perform better. We should understand that it is not just for ourselves that we are doing work, we are doing certain duties. We are paving the way forward for the coming generations, the younger generation and females who will be later on joining the workforce. It is our duty that we perform better, we do better, and in a way we motivate the younger generation, we motivate the younger lot to come to the services, to come to the workplace, do better, use their capabilities, use their strengths, and try to win over the weaknesses. So that is all that I want to say, that lot of problems, lot of issues are being faced, but at the same time, lot of solutions also exist. There need to be a change in the mindset. There need to be some changes, some policy changes at the level of organization, and at the same time, there need to be some passion, some motivation in ourselves, in the women, so that we can guide the future generations to come, and we can make the things easy for them to come and join this workforce, and perform better. So no other option is available to our society, our organizations, our country, or this world, that they can move forward, leaving aside the female workforce. So looking at this fact, more and more women should come to the workforce. At the same time, our organization policy should change so that they can come and perform better. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this chance. And I hope that this kind of webinars, this kind of seminars would be very much beneficial for the women officers. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Madam, before thanking you, just I am showing, are you seeing this photo?
Pardon?
Is this photo is visible?
Whose photo?
This one. From
No, nothing is visible.
Nishit, highlight it me. Nishit?
Yes, now it is visible.
Yeah. Madam, she is Shirisha.
Okay.
She is a sub-inspector of police at Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh. Aged, I think, less than 25 years. And last year, during COVID movement in April 2021, in her police jurisdiction, in a fields, one dead body was found in the fields, and nobody was trying to touch the dead body, and it has to be shifted to the government hospital. She herself lifted the dead body and walked for 2 kilometers, madam.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so that has become a very highlighted. And why I am showing only this lady is because she is a pharmacist, madam. She is a B pharmacist.
Okay.
And
I have seen so many of female officers doing wonders in the field. Though there is a mindset that yes, field duties would be hard for the woman, but being in the police, I have seen so many of lady constables, head constables, inspectors. They are doing so well in their field. Generally, off-field duties are very less in the police, and be it the night patrolling, be it the some servicing of the summon and warrants, be it doing investigations, be it going and producing the culprits to the court. Each and every work is being done with utmost sincerity by the women officers, women workers, and then they are bringing laurels to the organization. And at the same time, as the society is changing, more and more law and order problems are being faced by the police department, by the government, and more women are coming for the protest. It is very much essential that women officers are there, women constables are there to deal with them, because there is no other way that our department be the police, or I think it would be same in case of drug authorities, and also other organizations also. There is no other option available. More and more women are required to come to the workforce, active workforce, so that our society can have better solutions available to them.
yeah, being a fellow pharmacist, we are proud of our Shirisha, and we, on behalf of our Indian Pharmacy Graduates Association, also we appreciated her. And
I would also
thank
like to
you.
congratulate her for the good work she has done, and she
Yeah.
is the role model for many of the
Yeah.
women.
She is watching you through YouTube, madam.
Okay, thank you so much.
And thank you very much, madam, for spending your valuable time, because I know how the time schedule will be for an IPS. Even nowadays, even station house officer is unable to spend little time for such activities, whereas in being such a good position, you have spent a lot of time. Thank you very much, madam, and we are anticipating such cooperation in future also.
Thank you so much.
Now, may I request today's keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Y. Padmaja Rani, Principal, University College of Law, Kakatiya University, Warangal, Telangana, to deliver her keynote address on the topic frequent problems encounters by women field officers, how to counter. And before starting her speech, I request Madam Mahalakshmi to give introduction about Dr. Padmaja Rani, and also request to act as a moderator. And finally, I would like to inform you that Dr. Padmaja Rani is my sister. Thank you very much. Over to Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi, unmute.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
You start.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, yes. We see.
Mahalakshmi, you are using two devices.
One
Please
you
switch off
stop.
one.
You can start, Amma. Unmute and start. Unmute and start.
Hello.
Yes.
Mahalakshmi, please switch off one device.
Yes, already done. Is it okay now?
Carry on.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege and honor to introduce our keynote speaker of webinar, Professor Y. Padmaja Rani, Principal, Department of Law, Kakatiya University, Warangal, who shall be enlightening us on the most relevant topic, frequent problems encountered by women field officers, how to counter. She has got an immense experience in countless areas such as teaching, research, administration, etc. She is having 27 long years of teaching experience since 1995 and has worked as lecturer, assistant professor, and principal. In research area, she is grading 8 scholars for PhD in law and postgraduate students in law. Published 12 articles in different law journals on topics such as labor legislation safeguard to women workers in India, empowerment of women socio-legal perspective, and more. She has also published a book titled A Treatise on Family Codes Act 1984. She participated and presented papers in various international national seminars and conferences and also attended many symposiums, refresher courses, and workshops. In administrative area, she had worked as principal in Adarsh College of Pharmacy, principal University College of Law, Warangal, and being an active member of NSS, she had worked as NSS program officer and attended several NSS camps in different villages. She has been associated with social work and leading group of women for the social and economic problems relating to civilians of Warangal city. Welcome you, ma'am.
Over to Dr. Padmaja. Unmute. Madam, unmute and join.
Sir, I think madam is not there. Maybe join with the name iPhone, I think.
iPhone only, iPhone.
Her mic is not visible, sir. Madam, if possible, please rejoin.
She is joining again. Nishit, just
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Madam, please unmute.
Host is not allowing it. Message is coming. Just check.
No. Madam, please unmute yourself.
Unmute చేయండి ఒకసారి. అన్మ్యూట్ చేశారా? నిషిత్.
Yes, sir.
Unmute all first. And మీరు ఏ నెంబర్ ఐఫోన్ ఉంటేనా లైన్ లో?
Madam, please unmute.
Yeah, now it is okay. Yeah. Not. మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి ఒకసారి. మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేశారా?
So there is something problem with her audio, sir. Thing is that her mic is not visible.
వేరే ఫోన్ ఉందా ఇంకోటి?
Now it's okay, sir. Madam, please unmute. Please unmute.
అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి ఇప్పుడు.
Yes. Okay. Now. Madam, please.
Not.
Now, sir. Rao, sir.
Hello.
Yes, madam.
Unmute చేశాను. Unmute చేశాను.
Sir, madam, you are audible now.
Hello.
You can start, madam.
Hello. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am very much thankful to DCO India Drug Control Forum Women Wing, Pallavi Banoth Memorial Trust, and very much thankful to my friend and brother J. Koteshwar Rao. And really, it's a great opportunity on this Independence Week, Vajrotsava Week, speaking on women issues regarding women independence, problems of women employees, women field officers. Really, it's a great opportunity of a particular great field of pharmacy employees, speaking on your issues, women issues. Okay, thank you. So any society that fails to harness the energy and creativity of its women is at a huge disadvantage in the modern world. Women constitutes almost 50% population of India and are seen to be working in almost all sectors and areas. Previously and mostly decades back, the problems faced by women are different when we compare them with present scenario. Uneducation, poverty, child marriages, unhygienic situations, suppression, and the suppression is by the society and unequal social conditions, and particularly getting water from distant ponds and cooking food on firewood and chilas and exposing to that smoke, and that is unhygienic, and environmental issues were also faced by the women of that time, and presently also facing, of course, but reduced to some extent, and which caused severe health issues and hazardous activities undertaken by women in past. The needs of women at that time was at that time the only need was getting empowerment of all kinds. So what sort of empowerment required for women from olden days? Of course, same even now also, which are educational empowerment, social empowerment, financial empowerment, psychological empowerment, political empowerment, and legal empowerment. Even now also, even after getting independence, 75 years after independence also in India and in several Western and other countries also, presently women need psychological empowerment. All the different empowerments are, of course, achieving one by one. But this psychological empowerment is more effective and needed to women, particularly working women. So now let us concentrate on some important issues. And now women are working in many fields, almost all sectors and areas. There is a presence of women in the jobs and areas which are earlier worked by or performed those duties by only men, and designed exclusively for men previously, and women dared to choose such areas as their profession. For example, in unorganized sector, when we go to unorganized sector, there are so many issues. And in unorganized sectors, particularly agricultural fields like agriculture and construction, and women working in supermarkets and class stores and petrol bunks, dairy farming, the main very big and huge task, dairy farming, and food processing units, and hawkers, street vendors, and in malls, and security areas, and cinema halls, and in many complicated areas which are covered by women in unorganized sector. And in areas like banking, medical, education, police, and driving trains, trams, and now pilots, and whatnot, everything, defense, military, in all fields now women are entering, and now sky is the limit for women to work. So this is the present scenario of the empowerment which achieved by the women. And the positive change in the society was followed by series of horrifying incidents where women were faced and facing. So how women are facing the situations while discharging their duties? First of all, they need encouragement from the family, and encouragement from the society, and encouragement from the colleagues, and encouragement from the children, and in many other surrounding people. So all persons, all these category must encourage women to discharge their duties properly. So how it is possible? Because we must remember the very important point, that is Constitution, Article 14 providing equality before law, and Article 15 and Article 19 is providing various freedoms, and Article 21 is the very important and interesting article which speaks life and personal liberty of women. So to live life means not to live. Life means something more than that. What is that more than that? Is living with the dignity. So women must live with their dignity. So here, when we are speaking about the problems encountering women field officers, means women workers, those who are working in different fields, so they need dignity for discharging their duties. So how it is possible? In which areas women need dignity? In every area, women need dignity. As a daughter, as a sister, as a mother, as a wife, as an employee, she needs dignity. So her interest must be protected by the others. How it is possible? So here I am concentrating because all of you know the administrative situations surrounded by you. So everything we have to face on par with men. Women has to face all the issues on par with men. How? So the problem which is faced by the men while discharging the duties also must be faced by the women. Sometimes both are same, but only some areas where women need more safety measures. So what are those areas? How the exploitation took place? How women are facing a lot of troubles. So in which areas women need special protection. So those areas now I am going to explain. I think all of you know about the different rules, different bylaws about your working and your departmental rules and everything. So presently now, as a legal woman, I am concentrating on certain legal issues. So we will discuss about those issues and just put in your mind what are the legal protections available by the employees. So here already I explained the constitutional safeguards, that is Article 14, 15, 19, 21. All these are the safeguards to men and women equally, protecting the rights of men and women equally. So there are many cases, many case laws, many reported cases on certain issues that we must know. So here the harassment of different kinds. Women are facing harassment of different kinds. So out of all these kinds of harassment, the working women facing a typical harassment, and that is facing by the women only being a women is facing. So okay, just like one lady is discharging duties means people are simply not concentrating on her post. They are concentrating on the appearance and beauty and personality of the women. So because of this particular reason, women are suffering sexually. Sexual harassment of women at workplace is the now focused issue by in many organizations. So how this issue must be resolved and what are the various cases, examples on this particular issue. So among all forms of violence against women, sexual harassment is the most important harassment, most noted harassment on women. So here in past few years, there has been a significant induction of women in the workforce. As already I discussed, sky is the limit. Women is entering into many areas, and irrespective of whether they are highly trained women, entering the information technology industry, and sometimes, as we discussed, unskilled women also. So even unskilled, uneducated women also performing duties as casual labor and other labor in unorganized sector and suffering with all kinds of these harassments. One case I will explain to you. You will be surprised and shocked. This is old case of 90s when some few construction women workers traveling from Agra to Delhi. So at that time, the army people, soldiers are also traveling in the train, and the gang rape by the army people, soldiers, on these working construction laborers. This took place, and this was very landmark case in Supreme Court. And this is the just a beginning of several landmark cases. This is the first noted case in legal field. And now let us discuss certain instances which took place where women exploited sexually. And all of you know, I think the most famous case that is Rupam Diol Bajaj case versus KPS Gill. So women who is an IAS officer and the person is an IPS officer. Just I will explain certain important case laws who are exposed to the sexual harassment by the men. So here, KPS Gill, Director General of Police, Punjab, and guilt of charges molestation section under section 354 IPC and 505, and this is 509. This is outraising the modesty. Rupam Diol Bajaj was at that time an officer of IAS Punjab, and she is working in finance department, and Gill molested her in a party hosted on 18 July 1988 at Chandigarh, and at the residence of the finance commissioner, Mr. S.L. Kapoor, and complained by Rupam that Gill he had molested her modesty by patting her posterior. So this was the case. In this, Gill was the accused of the guilt, and there are so many instances and case laws. The respected ladies who suffered a lot for the sexual abuse by the colleagues and other employers. So here Nalini Netto, this power equations challenged in December 2000, senior IAS officer Nalini Netto also won the first round of her battle against Kerala Transport and Forest Minister, and charge sheet by the crime branch, and for physically assaulting her. This is first sexual harassment case involving politicians in Kerala that reached court. Minister forcibly tried to outraise her modesty, and soon after the complaint, the minister resigned from government following, and this statewide uproar. And this was the another case of IAS officer, and Suttapa Roy, and she was worked Seagull Bookstores Private Limited in January. This is also 1998 case, and she worked in the famous book company, and in that particular company, the manager, chief manager, molested her and misbehaved with her and made some sexual signs and this thing, and her case, she complained to the higher authorities, and higher authorities also refused her complaint and dismissed her from services. And then the second commissioner Mahavita Devi noted an author and referred to her, and even in that committee also the report went against complainant. It took nearly a year-long intensive campaign by the Maitri Women Organization, and state level dharnas and rallies took place, and finally the case was further discussed at the Human Rights Conference held in December 2000 at Panchagani, and an email campaign was organized countrywide, reach out to various human rights group activities. Finally, on January 31st, 2001, Seagull paid Supata monetary compensation and provided her a letter of apology. So these are the Shehnaz Sani and many other cases also there. And out of all these cases, the very important landmark case that we must know, that is Vishakha case. This is the landmark case, and in this case, the Supreme Court gave the guidelines for how to stop the sexual harassment of women at workplace. These guidelines are nothing but Bhagavad Gita to women, working women, and basing on these guidelines, the enactment took place. I will explain about the sexual harassment women of workplace enactment 2013. We will discuss elaborately. And here now let us discuss the Vishakha case. And in this Vishakha case, Vishakha is an organization, name of the organization. And in this organization, the facts are the brief one, just 2 lines, important introduction of the case. There's some Banwari Devi, who also a social worker, who fought against the rights of the women, and she was tried to stop one child marriage of a particular locality, and And that was a big issue. That was became a big issue, and political Dalit groups interfered, and the employee engaged in this Banwari Devi is an employee of an organization spreading awareness and about hygiene and education among the women, and she tried to stop one child marriage, and there were powerful political personalities and influential people involved, and she failed to stop the child marriage from happening. She tried to resist and carried out a rally, but she was not able to stop the marriage from happening. In order to take revenge for the rallies and a campaign instituted against them, a group of people attacked Banwari Devi when she was walking along the road with her husband. She was gang raped by those men. So this was one famous case, and in this particular case, Banwari Devi filed a case in court of law, and in this particular latter, the Vishaka named organization interfered and fought against these particular issues, and against the background, the recent judgment. The recent means at that time, 1997, the Indian Supreme Court assumes great importance in Vishaka and others versus state of Rajasthan. The Supreme Court has its exercise of powers under Article 32 of the Constitution, laid down guidelines and norms which regard to sexual harassment in workplace. And no, this is very, very important point to all the field officers or employers who are facing different problems, and all those different out of all those different problems, how to tackle with this sexual harassment. All of us must know about this important case. And the judges of the Supreme Court stated, in the absence of domestic law occupying the field, to formulate effective measure to check the evil of sexual harassment of working women at all workplaces, the contents of international conventions and norms are significant for the purpose of interpretation of the guarantee of gender equality, right to work with human dignity in Article 14, 15, 19, 1G and 21 of the Indian Constitution, and the safeguards against sexual harassment implicit therein. And the guidelines do heavily on the International Convention on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. SIDA Convention is there, Internationally Human Rights Convention, and which clearly in 1993, it was signed by the UN members. The Apex Court directed that all institutions should get up compliant mechanism. This is the suggestion given by the Supreme Court in Vishaka case in the year 1997 itself. So compliant mechanism to deal with the complaints of sexual harassment at workplaces. So this was not recognized previously, and this should consist of committee headed by a women. The majority of members should be women. In order to ensure an unbiased inquiry, the court directed that the committee should consist of an NGO member with the expertise in women's issues, because in more cases and most cases, the accused is likely to be a person in authority. And the court also held that apart from holding such behavior as misconduct, then taking disciplinary action, the compliance mechanism should provide for a complete solution to the problem. It held that transferring the women complaint or the delinquent employees, the complainant so desired, providing counseling and awarding compensation should be provided. After the Supreme Court judgment in Maneka Gandhi's case, 1978, this was a quantum leap in expanding the principles of fairness in procedure. In this case, for the first time, Apex Court had expanded the scope of Article 14 of Constitution, which guaranteed equality before law and equal protection of laws. And Supreme Court observed in this particular case that the right to equality would also include the right not to be treated in an arbitrary manner. Okay, so after 1978, in Vishaka case, for the first time, the principle of fair and just procedure has been further expanded to include gender just procedure. And this type of interpretation is not only in furtherance of the constitutional goals for equality, but would also be furtherance of international conventions such as SIDA. So here, then what is the sexual harassment definition? So the same definition, which is also undertaken by the Act, Sexual Harassment of Women in Workplace Act in 2030. So here, according to Supreme Court definition, sexual harassment in any unwelcome sexually determined behavior, such as what type of behaviors can be categorized under this? Physical contact, a demand or request for sexual favors, sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, any other physical, verbal and non-verbal conduct of sexual abuse. And in this clearly act, the same guidelines given and the same guidelines accepted in the act. And here it defined what is unwelcome, what is workplace, where women works is called workplace, sexual harassment, what type of incidents comes under sexual harassment, that is gestures, the what not everything. So many things, such as examples also given, subject another person to an unwelcome act of physical intimacy. So all such signs are comes under the sexual harassment. And so here there are two important points, types of sexual harassment, two important points. One is quid pro quo, that is power play by the authorities. So if you do the favor to me, sexual favor to me, I will do favor to you. So this is quid pro quo. And another is hostile working environment. So these are the two important points which leads to the sexual harassment of women, working women. And so here, what is the policy suggested by the Supreme Court? The basic policy should set forth an express commitment to eradicate or prevent sexual harassment and prohibition of sexual harassment. So the institutions, the organizations, government organizations and other organizations, and all the employment organizations must be in a condition to provide hygienic environment and express commitment to eradicate or prevent sexual harassment and prohibition of sexual harassment. And a definition of harassment including both quid pro quo and hostile work environment. And all these are the various issues. And a complaint committee also must be constituted. And now I explain certain provisions of this act. Because this is the very, very important act. I don't know whether your drug field, in your offices, this cell is created or not, and whether any infrastructure is there or not. But it is very mandatory according to the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. And this is an act to provide protection against sexual harassment of women at workplace and for the prevention and redressal of complaints of sexual harassment and for matters connected herewith or incidental thereto. And further it is clearly explained, whereas sexual harassment results in violation of fundamental rights of women to equality under Article 14 and 15 of the Constitution of India and right to life to and live to dignity, live with dignity under Article 21 of the Constitution, and right to practice any profession or to carry occupation, trade, business, which includes a right to safe environment free from all kinds of harassment, that is sexual, which includes sexual harassment. And whereas the protection against sexual harassment and the right to work with dignity are universally recognized human rights by international conventions and instruments such as Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, and has been ratified on 25th June 1993 by the Government of India. SIDA Convention ratified by the Government of India. So this is the responsibility of the government. Basing on its responsibility, it enacted this legislation. And whereas it is expedient to make provisions for giving effect to the said convention for protection of women against sexual harassment at workplace. So this is a definition: who is aggrieved women, the person who suffered, and appropriate government. All these are the various definitions are given. And here, who is employer, who is employee, and such definitions are there. But very important point for our discussion is that what activity comes under sexual harassment? That is physical contact and advances, and a demand or request for sexual favors, and making sexually colored remarks, and showing pornography, any other unwelcome physical, verbal, and non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. So these are the instances of sexual harassment. And workplace includes, so this, remember this point, you can demand for this in your organization, in your office, that is workplace. What is the workplace according to this article, this enactment? Any department, organization, undertaking, establishment, enterprise, institution, office, branch, or unit which is established, owned, controlled, or wholly substantially financed by the funds provided directly or indirectly by the appropriate government or the local authority or a government company or corporation or cooperative society. So there are so many other issues also there, but you remember this, you can demand for the establishment of the committee in your organization, and who has to form the committee, all these things also given. And any private sector organization also must contain it. Hospitals and nursing homes, sports, universities, dwelling places. And how to prevent sexual harassment. So no women shall be subjected to the harassment. There are certain circumstances which are implied or explicit promise of professional treatment in her employment. For professional treatment, if any employer demands for wrongfully sexual demands, so this must be prevented. So like certain examples are given. So under chapter 2 and section 4 of this act, constitution of internal complaints committee. So you can ask your employer to constitute internal complaint committee. This is the important point. Note down, all the field officers. Don't hesitate to ask your authorities. This is your right under constitution. You can demand for the constitution of internal complaints committee. And this internal complaints committee, every employer of a workplace shall, by an order in writing, constitute a complaint committee to be known the internal complaint committee. And according to this, there is a procedure, rules are there, provided that where the officers or administration units of the workplace are located. So like that, the one senior employee, women employee, must constitute as chairman of the committee, or if the women employee is not available, then the other from other departments they can borrow, or they can appoint any women NGO as the chairman of the committee. And other members also must be, women members must be members of the committee, and the complaint can be given by the aggrieved women to the committee. That must be, inquiry must be conducted, and a constitutional local complaints committee will be there, and these committees will conduct the inquiry, and they will impose the punishment on the employer who commits for that crime. And if he does not obey, that appeal can be filed in the regular court. So this is, I am not going to explain all the provisions of this act, but you remember this act is very much useful. And all of you can demand for the constitution of this committee in your employee organizations. And there are certain other problems also may be faced by the women field officers, maybe food inspectors, maybe drug inspectors, maybe brake inspectors, maybe police inspectors. And we discussed so many cases where police inspectors and military women, and many women are facing the abuses from the from their seniors and their colleagues, and sometimes in a lonely situation so there are many other cases where one employee is traveling in a bus in Kerala. And in that case, she was assaulted, sexually assaulted and misbehaved by the conductor of the bus, and straight away she demanded the driver to take the bus to the police station. And such type of guts must be there. Maybe it may be dependent. You may get the what we call redress, or you may get the result slowly, but you must be very strong in discharging your duties. And my colleague Koteshwara is telling that whereas the your inspectors, other than the police inspectors, the food inspectors or drug inspectors, brake inspectors, whoever they may be, they were not equipped with the security. That is like security vehicles may not be available, and sometimes they are fighting single fight they are making. So that may be there. But even whatever may be the situation, the very important thing is that you must be very strong while discharging your duties. And I don't know what type of problems you are facing in discharging, professional problems in discharging the duties, but the very important thing is that you must get a network like this type of organization, this Pallavi Memorial Trust or whatever may be trust in your department. You women employees fight with a unity. So you must have your own organizations, separate organizations. You fight organizedly for your problems. Problem may be faced by single women can face the problem, but fight must be from the association, then you will get the victory. Okay, so these are the various situations. In these situations you have to fight, and there are certain other points also there which are I don't know whether which are useful to you or not. Domestic Violence Act is there. I don't know whether you are having problems encountered to women employees, means problems may be from the household, problems may be from the society. So now Domestic Violence Act is there. When any violence occurred in your home, not only from the husband, not only from the father, not only from the brother, from any person you are sharing suppose you are sharing a house with your family members. Suppose a woman is displaced from the family because of various reasons. She is having protections, legal protections, and Domestic Violence Act. And now equal property right is also recognized. So you can fight for equal right on par with your brothers. So women are having so many rights. The important aspect is that empowerment. You must get the legal empowerment, psychological empowerment. And my suggestion, another suggestion also I want to make to the employers. You can demand your employer, you ask for the medical services, to provide medical services. Out of all these medical services, one counseling, psychological counseling service also very important. Because women, because of the physical sensitivity and nowadays facing medical problem, I don't know, better you know, that is the hormonal imbalance and many other issues women facing because of their birth as a women, facing many problems than men. So under those circumstances, we must fight with our internal strength, our physical strength, and external targeted points. So for this, the very important thing is that you must get your mental courage, more mental courage, and fight with what we call encouragement, self-encouragement, self-motivation. All these are very important. And sexual harassment can be termed as behavior intended and unintended to embrace a women man in a sexual manner through various forms of verbal and non-verbal communications. It is form of sexual attention which can act as a pressurizing influence to make the sexual attention comply with the aggressor's wishes and intentions. This type of harassment reflects a inequitable gender status in society, unequal power relationship between men and women being the product of socialization patterns which adhere to a rigid code of gender roles and behavior, where conformity in the role than the exception. The simple laws and force cannot tackle the violence against women. As an entire world can be transformed through loving vision, loving attitude, and loving actions to create a better world. Loving means understandable towards more sensitized towards the women. A world of truth, spiritual love is primary. In a better world, the natural law is love, and in a better person, the natural nature is loving. Peace in energy, a quantitative energy which emanates constantly from the one imperishable source. It is pure force that penetrates the shell of chaos and by its very nature automatically puts things and people into balanced order. Peace is the prominent character of what one calls civilized society. And the character of a society can be seen through the collective consciousness of its members. Peace to women at workplace is possible if sexual harassment of women as an antithesis to the basic human and fundamental rights is not checked to provide a sense of dignity of women. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you, ma'am, for such a nice session where you have covered almost all the parts, like sexual harassment part and what are the things to do for the women in workplace like that. There are 2 questions in the chat box, ma'am. Can I read it? Ma'am? Padmaja, ma'am? Hello, ma'am. There are questions in the
I
chat
am
box.
unable to hear the
Hello, ma'am.
discussion. I don't know.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Is
Ma'am,
it muted?
the first question is, what is the solution in case of lack of family support to leave household work and go to office? Ma'am?
Oh, lack of household support. When lack of household support, so we must come out from that. You can take the help of NGOs or what I said, self-confidence is very, very important. Fight with self-confidence. If you are an employee, you can live separately. You must show your inner strength to the society. Challenges, we have to accept the challenges. First thing, we have to convince them. We have to adopt counseling methods. When those methods are not fruitful, then we must show our inner strength. Don't lose it.
Thank
Hello?
you. Thank you, ma'am. One more question that is from me, ma'am. I want to know what are the law provisions for mental harassment of women in workplace? You already covered the sexual harassment part, ma'am. I'm asking about the mental harassment part in workplace.
Harassment by whom?
Yes, ma'am.
Mental harassment by the family or the city?
Workplace.
You want clarification? Workplace mental harassment. Okay. That also you can comply. That may not be sexual harassment. Even for mental harassment also you can comply.
Okay.
Complaint. You can give complaint to the complaint cell.
Complaint cell. So that you already told the complaint cell within the organization should be constituted. In that
It also must be resolved. Even mental harassment, maybe suppose sometimes mental harassment maybe because of non-performing the duties or more showing more skills which they are.
problem had occurred, I think. Madam had left. Rao sir.
Net
Yeah,
bandwidth is very low. That's it.
here Madam was talking about 1990s cases. I will talk about last 3 years cases in front of you. This harassment is
Okay.
not left at lower end, even at higher end. I don't want to name an senior most IAS officer working in Telangana Chief Minister's office has been harassed in such cases by a media fellow in recently about 2 years back, or I think some cases going on. And again, at 2 years back or 3 years back, a district collector has been harassed by a politician, is MLA. I don't want to say names. And finally, my bitter personal experience, I am telling. My wife Pallavi has been harassed by her superior by receiving calls in wrong time. Of course, I answered in my
This
own way.
was there.
Of course, I have answered him in my own way, which has not come out. And after that, he never even see her face when in meetings. Whenever he sees my wife, he bend his head like this. So these are live examples we
This
seen
was there. They say.
these 3 experience I seen in recent era. First 2 cases Padmaja madam knows, and third case only I knows, and the gentleman knows, and uh, my wife. That's all. So these are all there. Only few people are
Yes,
coming
they
out.
say.
Those who are coming out, everybody is trying to target them. Generally, the stones will be thrown to the fruit bearing trees only. So women who are little bit active, or even men also, 100 people will target him to store for his mistake. Whenever if he feel one mistake, or she does one mistake, these 100 hands will look at them and they will kill mentally, for which there is no proof for that, and there is no solution for that also. Even though, friends, it is this is only beginning. Such things will come and go like passing clouds. Only, as madam told, you should be stubborn, you should be dare enough. You should not for everything you have to take. Actually, I used to tell many people, in this era, each and every citizen of India must know law. We, especially regulatory officers, enforcement officers, if whenever there is possibility or evening courses or anything like this, you please join. And once, if you know the law now, you can play like anything. Because many of, though one of my senior officer, I am not, I don't want to tell the names. She came with weeping and to me, and from nose complete bleeding is coming, and her head is broken. What happened? My husband has beaten me like anything. I taken to a CID office directly and given a complaint, but the gentleman is having a higher recommendation, which not done anything. So these things will be there. For such questions and such events, there will be no answer. Only thing is, you should know law. That's all. That is my advice. And thank you very much, Padmaja madam, for spending your valuable time. And I will share your mobile number and email number in our women group. And as and when they need any assistance, please respond them with your permission.
Sure.
So now over to Ms.
Thank you.
Babita Felix, Drug Inspector Kerala, to present vote of thanks, please.
Am I
Ms.
audible,
Babita,
sir?
please.
Am I
Yeah.
audible? Yeah. Good afternoon, all. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks on this great occasion to all the dignitaries who have directly or indirectly contributed to this event, organized by DCO India Drugs Control Forum Women Wing in association with Pallavi Banoth Memorial Trust. First and foremost, on behalf of DCO India Drugs Control Forum Women Wing and Pallavi Banoth Memorial Trust, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Srimati Jyoti Sardesai ma'am, the first women drugs inspector of Goa FDA, who despite her busy schedule, found time to grace the event. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing the experience and the struggles you have overcome during your tenure as a women drugs control officer. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. Now, I'm grateful to express my thanks to the most active and inspirational guest of honor, Srimati Preeti Jain, IPS, Director Intelligence Training Academy, Jaipur, to become a part of this auspicious occasion in spite of her busy schedule. Thank you, ma'am, for your motivational words and promising words. Now, I would like to acknowledge our gratitude to the speaker of the day, Professor Dr. Y. Padmajarani, Principal, University College of Law, to deliver such a modest, thoughtful, and splendid talk on frequent problems encountered by women field officers, how to counter. Thank you, ma'am, for giving an excellent coverage on the topic, and we are enlightened and motivated with your inspirational words. I owe my special gratitude to the man behind the event, Sri J. Koteshwar Rao sir, for his constant effort, support, and commitment to make this webinar successful. Thank you very much, sir. I also extend my deep gratitude to the office bearers of DCO India Drugs Control Forum, Sri Lalit Goyal sir and Sri Rakesh Tahiya sir, for their immense support. I'm extremely thankful to Gyadi Siri ma'am, Drug Inspector Arunachal Pradesh, for her hard work and constant support to make this webinar successful. Now, I take my immense pleasure in extending sincere thanks to Sweta Rani ma'am, Drug Inspector Patna, to be a part of this auspicious occasion. We are grateful to Dr. Nishit MC for the unflinching support and motivation to make this event a grand success, extremely with regard to creation of Zoom meeting and streaming of the webinar. Thank you, sir. I am grateful to express my thanks to all the 33 state coordinators for your valuable presence on this occasion. Last but not the least, I would like to express my deep gratitude to drugs control officers all over India for their presence throughout the session to make this webinar a great success. Greetings to all on 75 years of Independence Day celebrations. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.
Thank you, madam. And one small request to conduct an event, any event, it is just like giving a birth to a child. So I have been behind this event for last 1 month, asking many people, speakers, requesting and giving them feedback and making so much publicity and other things. We accept your thanks only if your group strength is 306 and today the participator list is, you see, it is very poor, which is really dissatisfied us. This is for you, this exclusively. The all other events are different, and for today's event is exclusively different one. And for this also, 90% of the officers are neglected to attend this, which is feeling very bad in future. If there is no cooperation from your end, such events will not be continued. I hope this is recorded, and this recorded subject will be seen by all your group members, and at least if 50% of the group, why 50%, why not 100%, I am asking. Next time, if you yourself any request comes only, we will conduct such events. The given topic will be given by you, and entire things will be taken care of DCO group admin. So I'm expecting even at least the women coordinators, 36 coordinators also not participated, only few percentage is there. Very, it is given very unfortunate and I'm very disappointed to see. And the national coordinator Mahalakshmi Madam, next time, since this is a first time and short time, it is okay, but next time please take little initiation. You conduct regular contacts with your state coordinators and see that this such platform should be number one platform in such type of activities. And thank you very much to all. And over to Nishit for national anthem.
Okay, sir.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, Nishit. We can leave.
Sir, can we conclude this session?